Hey guys, so today we're back with another video. Well, it's actually this evening. Um, you can see it's, what is it, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Anyway, so I get asked all the time these basic questions like how do I do this for pen testing, or how do I set up a virtual machine, or blah blah blah, like all these basic things. So I'm just gonna show you quickly how. Now I'm using a VMware workstation. So today I'm gonna show you how I kind of set myself up to do, pen testing or any CTF exercises or anything like that. And I've already got some machines set up. So normally the way I do it is I set up one machine that's fully updated, and then once it's all set up and updated and all that stuff, I just clone it or copy it. Now I know you can't do that with all the software, but I'm just going to show you first in this series like how to get going, right? So the first thing you need to do, of course, is you have to go and just search Kali Linux. Okay, and you just go over to the download section. And what you want to do is, if you scroll down to the bottom here, you'll see you got some VMware and VirtualBox images. So we want to get this one right here. So you just grab that one, and you can see that there's images for VirtualBox and there's images for Kali Linux. So I want to get this one right here, the 64-bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and download that real quick. Now, normally what I do is I download it and then I'll save it on another drive somewhere. Okay, and just remember too that the password default is Tor, which is root backwards, and it also may have pre-generated SSH host keys. So it is recommended that you change your password and regenerate your keys. I normally do that, but that's another topic, right? So we'll just give this a second to finish downloading, and I'll show you how I get it all set up. It's pretty simple. So basically I have in my box, I have like a drive dedicated towards Kali Linux VMs or any other VMs, and then I have another drive, a bigger drive, that I store ISOs in. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this over to my drive for the VMs, and I'll show you how I do that in a second. Okay, so it's done. Great. So I'm just going to go on my downloads, and I'm going to grab this file, and I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to paste it in here. I'm also going to get rid of this for the moment because I don't need it right now. Let me see, I'm just going to take this and put this in here for now. Okay, so of course this is on Windows, right? It's a little bit different process, but I mean, in importing the machine and everything is pretty much the same for Linux, for VMware Workstation or VirtualBox. You have to forgive me, I just got up, just getting my coffee. So first thing you want to do, you've got your VMware Workstation, and you're gonna extract this one. So it's gonna extract it to its own file, and you need 7-zip installed. If you don't have that, you have to go and download 7-zip, right? It's pretty safe, pretty easy. I use it all the time. I like 7-zipping things, so it's got a good compression ratio. So basically the idea behind this machine is that it's ready to go out of the box. You don't have to do anything with it, right? Once you download it and you extract it, it's ready to go. You don't have to install anything. You don't have to use an ISO and go through all that stuff. And my music decided it didn't want to work, so let me sort that out. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see. There we go. It's going to be loud. Alright. Hopefully that... Alright. So that should have extracted by now. So you can see it's right here. In this folder here. The VM. So you're going to go in and open. And you're going to go to where you extracted it. And you're going to open this file right here. And there you go, like it's pretty much ready to go. So I'm just going to show you, if you do want to, what I normally do is, let me turn this volume down just a touch. There we go. So what you want to do is you want to edit the settings here. I normally give it 4 gigs of RAM. I'm gonna change this to 4. I keep mine at NAT. You could use bridged if it doesn't work for you. Accelerate 3D graphics. Okay, and then you just close all these tabs here. You can hit power on this virtual machine. I copied it. That's gonna boot up right away. So for me, I mean, it works right out of the box, right? You don't have to update it or anything if you don't want to. If you want to go right to work and do something, you can do that. But I'm just gonna quickly show you kind of what I do to get set up and get ready to go. So you just log in. I know it's kind of small right now. Just give me 1 second. So these are the first things that I kind of do when I get started. So I usually delete these. And then display settings, we'll set it at, I'll do this for now. Okay, so I can make it bigger. The next thing I do is I go to the power. I turn off the blanks, or I turn off the power saving and the automatic suspend. The next thing I do is I like to move the dash to dock to the bottom, and I usually, because I have a large monitor, I change the size, and then kind of just do this. The next thing I do, because I have a really large monitor, is I go in and I set my fonts a little bit bigger so I can see things a little easier on my large screen. I'm also older, so my eyes are not the best. And then I bump this up to 0.15. That's basically it. So I mean, then you can go through and set all the tweaks that you want to set, right? I normally connect to my local file server, and I normally download some, some files here, like for, my own personal taste or whatever. Now, here's the thing. If you do it this way, and then you, of course, you do the apt get update, and then get upgrade. Sometimes it'll work right away, and sometimes it won't. Now, if you run into a thing where it says it's locked, like it'll say, oh, it's locked and you can't do it, all you gotta do is go into your settings, and then you would go into the details and check for updates right here, and there may be a system update in here, and it has locked the terminal from updating it. So you just go ahead and go through the update process that way, and it'll be fine, right? So as soon as this updates now, I'll show you what I do for cloning. Now, if you can't clone, like I do like a full clone. Like this one here, this Kali is a clone of this original ISO. And the reason I do that, like where I go into the manage and I go clone, the reason I do that is because when I've set up a machine and I have it all the way that I like it, I don't go and do like any exercises or any war games or any CTF and then, you know, install a bunch of shit and, you know, you could be leaving your system open, right? Or you could mess it up somehow, or you could install something that you don't necessarily need, and it could infect the computer with an exploit or something else that's not necessary for the next CTF. So I always find that I clone the updated Kali box. I use that, and when I'm done, I delete it, and then I clone it again from the original. And I just find it's better to do it that way, because I've seen situations where, you know, sometimes you install something, you know, you might go and grab a script or some sort of you know, program to run, and it may install a bunch of shit in the background that you're not really paying attention to, you know, specifically with Python when you're grabbing different things. So, you know, it's just, I just find it's better to have a clean machine, you know, and that way, you know, you don't have to worry about it, right? But that's basically all there is to it, to getting a machine up and running. And once this one's done here, in a second I'll show you what I mean by restarting it. I also install a few, you know, add-ons in Firefox. For example, I should be able to start this one up right now. Let's see if I can. Let me just log into this one here. Give me 1 second. While this one's updating, I'll just jump into this one. So this one here I installed from the ISO fresh yesterday. So, you know, it's gonna look a little bit different than this one. But I mean, you know, I just find it's better to have a nice fresh box. You know what I mean? Like when you're doing your shit and, you know, you're downloading stuff and whatever, and you're, you know, I just find it nicer to have a clean slate. You know, there's no remnants of everything. I mean, when I do a CTF and I take notes and all that stuff, I still save it. You know, like I'll save it in my server. I have a file, you know, and if I ever need to go back into it, you know, I just go back into it and I can read over my notes and all that stuff. I still save my, you know, save my stuff, but I mean, I don't think it's necessary to save everything, because, you know, some of this stuff is, there's exploits in here and stuff that, you know, and I had to install different things to make, you know, to make it work, you know, or to use it. So it's not good to have all this kind of stuff lying around, you know what I mean? So, you know, and if I need to go back and check it, I just go back and check it. So that's done. So let me reboot this one. So, you know, that's basically how I do it. That's what all, you know, that's all you need to do to get started. Because I get asked all the time, well, how do I install Kali Linux? How do I install Kali Linux? That's all I hear all the time from people. How do I get it going? Well, this is how you do it. It's really easy. And there you go. Like, we're all done, ready to go, like updated, right? So what I do now is I'll turn this machine off now, because this is considered a fresh install, right? And once it's turned off, what I'll do is I'll go in here now, and then I'll make a clone. So I'll just say clone, and then I go through these processes here. So the current state, so this one here is the updated one, right? So I go create a full clone. You can also create a linked clone, right? But I think I have enough space in here. Let me see. Yeah, I got enough. So I'll just make a full clone. So create a full clone, and it'll say like clone of whatever, right? So you just hit finish, and then it'll clone that box. So now what I'll do now is I'll place a star on the one that I'm going to use for my CTF or whatever, and that's the one that I'll use to play with and do whatever I want to do, whether it's downloading things or browsing around on the web or whatever I want to do. It's on that VM now. I don't have to worry about it. And you know what, it's great, because if I fuck it up, if I do something you know, that messes up the machine, or I install some exploit or something, or somehow I do something wrong, it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't affect my main machine. I have no downtime, so I can play with it, I can mess it up, and if something goes wrong, I can just delete it and start over. You know, I don't have to, because a lot of people mess with dual boot and all that kind of stuff, and that's all fine and dandy. Problem is though, when you do a dual boot system, you have a exploitable machine that's wide open on your network with all of your resources. So if you do something or install something that you're not very careful of installing, let's say for example, you could be opening a port that you don't know about in your network, or maybe, you know, maybe there's SSH open or something like that, and then you're just leaving yourself open, you know. So I have my network set up in a very specific way behind my firewall, where, you know, and this is on a NAT network, so it's tunneling through my main interface on its own subnet. So there's no, you know, it's not going to affect, right? I've got my main networks here, and then you've got your VMware network, right? I've got two different ones here, right? So these machines, they're not going to talk to my other machines on my network. They're on a different subnet. So here's the clone now. So we can go ahead now and start this up if we want. And you'll see that it'll start just as fast as, you know, the other one. It's an actual clone. It's a full clone. So everything that we done before, whatever settings we had or whatever, it's all there. So basically we can go in now and do whatever we want with this box, and it's not going to hurt anything else. It's completely safe to, you know, play around on. And like I said, I normally change my password too and all that stuff, but that'll probably be another video. I can show you how to do that. So now this is the clone of the other machine, and everything is exactly the same as it was in the other one. So we can go through here now and, you know, do all the stuff we want to do with this machine and mess it all up, and when we're done we can just delete it, right? So which I'll show you how I'm going to do that now. So after you've done your CTF and everything's done, and you know, you've done your exercises and everything's finished, you're like, okay, I don't need this machine anymore. It's as simple as just going in here and deleting it, and that's it. And now it's gone, right? It's no longer there. It's not taking up the space anymore, right? It's gone. The clone's gone. And that's basically how I do it. Now you're probably wondering, well, what's the difference between you know, doing it this way? Well, you can see here that all these disks are all separated in smaller disks. And then if you look at my updated one, it's all in one disk. So there is a difference in how you set the machine up. There is a performance difference between using, but the idea behind what I'm just showing you here, this pre-configured VM, is that it's meant to be quick. It's not meant to take a full day or whatever to get a machine up and going. It's meant to be like, you know, really fast. It only takes a few minutes to import the machine, and then you're good to go. So that's it for this one, guys. I'm gonna do a few little videos, because like I said, I get asked all the time a lot of the basics about, oh, how do I do this or how do I do that. So I'm gonna try to get a list of all those basic questions that I get asked all the time, and I'll try to make like a quick little tutorial video or something of all these simple little questions that people ask me. Some of the stuff is like really basic, like how do I do this or how do I do that, and it's like really simple stuff, like simple things is with regard to enumeration and stuff. And a lot of people, you know, they get really flustered and frustrated with simple tasks that don't need to be complicated. You know what I mean? Anyway, I hope you like this one, guys. I'll try to get another one up real soon. I've been super busy, so have a good one. Peace.